Nick from Nick's Nutrition, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make soft peanut butter cookies. So I've adapted this recipe from an amazing food blogger called Jenna Zoe, and I'll link to her channel below. But basically throughout the recipe I'm going to be making a few little tweaks of just basically new products that I've been discovering and loving, and just things that will make these cookies slightly lower in calorie. So if you are trying to lose weight, then these cookies might make things a little bit easier when it comes to resisting treats. I'll list all of the ingredients below on my blog, which is nicksnutrition.com, and I'll be writing the ingredients out in both grams and cups. You can get measuring cups though from either Amazon or supermarkets, super cheap, and they're really useful if you're doing a lot of baking. What you'll need is basically a cup full of flour. So I like to use whole grain flour such as spelt, or today I've got oat flour. I actually make my own oat flour just by throwing a load of rolled oats into a blender and whizzing it up. You'll then need 60 ml of either maple syrup or honey, or I'm actually using a calorie-free syrup today, so I'll be writing a full review of that on my blog, so look out for it. You'll need 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of baking powder, and then 1/4 cup of sweetener, or you can use sugar. I quite like using xylitol just because it's kind to your teeth and it's got less calories in it than sugar. You'll need 1½ tablespoons of coconut oil, melted, which is it's a healthier version of butter basically, so it's a healthier fat to use in your baking. You'll need a teaspoon of vanilla, and then you'll need 5 tablespoons of peanut butter, or 5 tablespoons of made up PBB. PPB stands for powdered peanut butter, and it's basically like a low-fat peanut butter powder. I've got a full review of it on my blog. You can make up big batches of it, so basically it's 2 parts of the peanut flour to 1 part either milk or water, or if you're just using it for this recipe, you just need 7 tablespoons of the flour and 3½ tablespoons of the water. And here's what you need to do. So first you'll need to preheat your oven to 180 degrees, and this recipe is super simple. All you need to do is combine the dry ingredients in one bowl and the wet ingredients in the other. Just give the dry ingredients a good mix. Oh, and I forgot to say that put both the PBB and the water into the wet ingredients just to mix it all up, just as you would if you're using regular peanut butter. Once all your wet ingredients are mixed, and it should look something like this, you want to pour the wet and the dry together and give it a good mix together. So once you've mixed all the wet and dry ingredients together, it should look something like this, and then all we're going to do is we're going to break bits of the dough off and just roll it between your hands. Break as much off as you want, it just depends on the size that you want your biscuits to be. And then if you just place them on a baking tray, then all we're going to do before we bake them is just press them down with the back of a wet spoon. So once you finish rolling out your cookie balls and put them on a baking tray lined with baking parchment, you just want to press down the cookies with the back of a wet spoon just to get a cookie shape. I've made 13 today, but your mixture will make between 12 and 14. If you like eating the raw cookie mix, then you'll obviously have less cookies at the end of it. So I've gone and pressed down all of my cookies, and I'm just going to pop them in the oven, which is preheated at 180 degrees for 15 minutes. So once the cookies are finished baking, you want to allow them to cool. From a calorie point of view, they come in at 67 calories if you're using the powdered peanut butter and the calorie-free syrup. If you're using normal maple syrup, they come in at just over 80 calories. And if you're using regular peanut butter, then they come in at just over 100 calories. So I would say store these in your cupboards, and whenever you're having the cookie craving, you can have a couple of them guilt-free. They are 100% healthy ingredients and they taste amazing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you found this video useful, and if you have, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe.